So, the Detroit Red Wings had themselves a bit of a break. Their last game was 2 days ago. On Tuesday, they lost 4-1 to the Washington Capitals, and it was kind of a bad game, we'll just say. The Wings, though, do not play from Tuesday up until Saturday, which means they still have another 2 days before they suit up against the Vegas Golden Knights in Vegas on March 22nd. But with all this in mind, it gives us some breathing room to go out there and talk about some of the latest in Red Wings news. It's pretty unfortunate here, not gonna lie. This show is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Go out there, check out that first link in the description to save some money on your VPN, get some free months, and support this YouTube channel in the process. I'll also leave a link in the description to this article on ProHockeyRumors.com by Josh Erickson. Injury notes, Red Wings, Romanov, and Jensen. Now, this article is nice because it goes out there and pretty much summarizes everything we need to know about the Wings that we had learned earlier this morning. Take a look at this. The Detroit Red Wings lost both defenseman Erik Gustafsson and winger Elmer Soderblom to undisclosed injuries in Tuesday's loss to the Capitals, and it doesn't look like they're getting either of those players back this weekend against Vegas. Neither of them practiced during today's session, Helene St. James of the Detroit Free Press reports. The former could be facing a longer-term absence, head coach Todd McLellan said. That's not good news for a tumbling Red Wings team, whose playoff hopes are close to evaporating after a 2-8-0 run in their last 10 games. Gustafsson is third in points amongst defenders with 18, trailing Simon Edvinsson and Moritz Seider. Soderblom, who has seen time on a top line with Dylan Larkin as of late, has 3 goals and 6 assists for 9 points in 22 games since being recalled in January. He is day-to-day. They could be getting veteran defenseman Jeff Petrie back in the lineup soon. He is traveling with the club in their road trip after returning to practice, but he won't play this weekend. He's been out since early January with an undisclosed injury, but had just 6 points in 34 games to begin the year with a -7 rating. So this is what I mean about the article, right? Quick, easy, beautiful cover girl. This was really to the point, and it just gives us the information that we need. Obviously, it's not ideal to see one of your top-scoring D-men and one of your more productive, bigger forwards lose out on time like this, especially since they both got injured in the same game. In terms of what they got injured with, we don't know for sure, but there will need to be some adjusting here for the Detroit Red Wings. This is what the practice lines were earlier today. Red Wings practicing with these lines projecting against Vegas Golden Knights tomorrow. Michael Rasmussen is up there on the top line with Larkin and Raymond. DeBrincat is with Kasper and Kane. Berggren with Comfer and Tarasenko. And Shine down there on the bottom with Tyler Mott and recently acquired Smith. Ben Sherratt, Seider, top pairing, Edvinsson Johansson, second pairing, and Hall Petrie on the third with Lagesson as the extra, Mrazek, Talbot, and Lyon all rotating in the crease. So, the lineup's not that bad, honestly. Like, I don't think you would prefer to see Rasmussen on the top line, but you kind of have to at this point. You don't want to mess with what DeBrincat, Kasper, and Kane have built up. Kasper has been so good as a second-line center at the NHL level so far. It is unfortunate because with the departure of Andrew Cup from this team, you're starting to see a little bit more just how valuable he really is. Obviously, I'm not saying that Cup is Connor McDavid out there, but just the role that he has as a minutes-eating, defensively responsible two-way center that doesn't get too many points. He just goes out there and facilitates play nicely and reasonably well enough that you can just kind of let him be. Let him do what he needs to do, and then you can roll everybody else out against lesser matchups in more strategic roles. Marco Kasper being placed as a second-line center is great because he can play it, but if you have Kasper as a first-line wing or a third-line center, that gives him more opportunities to be great this young into his NHL career. Although I do say, like, it's possible that the development at center against second-line matchups will be more beneficial for Kasper as well. If you're just looking at point production, okay, playing with Raymond and Larkin the entire time, then I guess you could give him as many points as he can get, but still, we can focus on development at the same time. And of course, when it comes to Soderblom, the big guy, the late-round draft pick, the miracle of a prospect that eventually became an NHL player, he's always been awesome to watch, so it's tough to see him miss out on some extra time here towards the end of the season. I mean, at the very least, the Red Wings have been kind of sucking lately, so you're not really looking forward to too much out of this team in terms of the wins and the losses anymore. It's just part of the reason you would want to watch this team now, is so you could see Soderblom and Edvinsson and all these other guys develop and become a little bit more comfortable. At the very least, Edvinsson and Johansson are still there, right? They're going to be doing their thing against the Vegas Golden Knights tomorrow, but you know who else is also probably going to be there? Jeff Petrie. Whether or not he actually comes back and sustainably finds a way to produce, who really knows? It's going to be difficult to replace the production of Erik Gustafsson. But I will say, talking about offense, talking about all-around defense, Jeff Petrie is a much different player than Gustafsson, so it might not be fair to compare them one-to-one. Because realistically, when you're talking about points with Jeff Petrie, he hasn't been great, to be honest. He has had better days in Montreal in the past few years before he was a Detroit Red Wing. And I can say that comfortably after watching him as a Canadiens fan in the 2021 Stanley Cup Playoffs. That year, he was absolutely insane, produced so many points in the regular season, and then, for some reason, just totally fell off a cliff when he came to Detroit last year. He wasn't that bad last year. 24 points, still okay. He wasn't great defensively, by any means. But this season, he was not producing much. He's got 6 points on the year, that Jeff Petrie does. I don't care how many hometown Detroit connections and whatever stuff with his dad and the Tigers is going on here. Jeff Petrie is not the same player that he was a few years ago, and he's 37, so I don't think anybody's going to go out there and expect him to still be able to produce at a 40-point capacity. With that being said, though, he still is a calmer, more stable defensive presence who makes better decisions defensively than Erik Gustafsson, and especially Justin Holl. So be on the lookout for Justin Holl to be playing on his offside here. I know a lot of folks were joking around earlier this morning saying, hey, Justin Holl sucks on his normal side, so now he's playing on the offside. How's that going to go? Yeah, thanks, Stevie Y, for bringing this guy into the Detroit Red Wings on a contract like he's got. But Petrie, if it was faster, he would be a lot more valuable, and I think his presence would be more missed on the Red Wings blue line. He just can't really move as much anymore, so that's kind of unfortunate to see. He's 37, who cares? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about these unfortunate Detroit Red Wings news from Elmer Soderblom to Erik Gustafsson, the Swedes, whose names start with E, ending up leaving the lineup and not participating in practice today. We'll see what happens in 2 days when the team plays off against the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm excited to see Jack Eichel, Pavel Dorofeyev, Ivan Barbashev, and everybody else go up against Holl and Petrie on the third pairing. That's going to be great. But either way, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about these Wings updates? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.